Speaking of the changing of the guard in hoops, Cooper Flagg signed with New Balance this week. Gentlemen, this is a very different world than we grew up in for young basketball fans at this point. Was that kind of a, oh, I'm an old motherfucker moment? Or how did you feel about, the next guy going to a company like New Balance?
I mean, New Balance has been trying to make waves in the athletic sneaker department. I will just always view them as like a running shoe company and a casual shoe company. I don't know if I'll ever really view them as a hoop shoe company. I know Kawhi was kind of like their first really big signing, but I don't know. I mean, I get, Cooper Flagg might know his demographic. I'm sure there's a lot of New Balance wearers that support Cooper Flagg, so that might be a good business move there.
I I was like, there's some people that are connected to New Balance that I think are really dope, and they do
like
some
like
great
Joe Freshgoods. I love
collaborations.
what he
Joe
does with
Fresh
it. Yeah.
Goods. There's a lot of cool people. I think that dude from ALD is the creative director there. So like I mean, as far as a brand, Action Bronson has a collaboration with them. As far as a brand, I think they're one of the cooler brands out right now.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like, as far as a hoop shoe, I remember this. I played with a nigga named Ammon that wore New Balance, and we was clowning the fuck out his ass in high school. Like, nigga, you have new. I didn't know they made hoop shoes, but this ain't that time period. You feel what I'm saying? Like, nigga, I know they had them shits. You know, where the fuck you buy them
Yeah.
motherfuckers at? Big Five, nigga. But I thought them shits was fake. But yeah, G, like I'm not too mad at it. I'm not too mad at it because I feel like a lot of the things that are going on with New Balance are really dope. Um, and I feel like a lot of the athletic companies, a lot of the collaborations ain't hitting like that. One of my favorite collaborations this year is with Saucony. What's this Saucony? But I would say Saucony just for the culture.
I say
But you know what I'm
Saucony.
saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
That
Niggas say
Saucony
Saucony. You
shit.
feel me? Yeah.
Saucony.
But
Scarlets and opals and
yeah.
frankincense and Saucony.
Saucony.
but I think his name's Jay Tips. He had a dope ass collaboration. So a lot of my favorite collaborations are with sneaker companies that aren't the ones that we grew up like. If it wasn't Nike, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck you
Yeah.
mean, or Jordan
Well,
or whatever. But Jordan, I think Jordan's on the way to do some cooler things than they have in the past. But yeah, for the most part.
But I think you talked about what New Balance has going on. Tyler talked about what Cooper Flagg has going on. My take on it is I think it says a lot about what Nike does not have going on right now. Because Cooper Flagg was at EYBL. He was a Nike
Oh,
kid.
he was a Nike kid?
And so they signed, for the history of their company, we take it for granted, but there was a couple key employees that they had who were making sure that that pipeline existed from someone staying in touch with you from Nike from the
Oh, for
time they
sure.
first saw you when you were 14 until it was time to sign a shoe deal. Nico Harrison is running, is it the Mavs, I believe? George Ravling's retired. So at least for the Southern California guys, those were always the dudes that were like the business card that stayed in the wallet. You know what I mean? So I think it's just kind of, this happens at companies. You take some things for granted. I've been on the Nike campus. You've never seen any shit like that before. They have Tiger Woods buildings that are like it's a museum. But you get big enough and you can kind of forget about, well, you need the plug. You do need the one guy that's locking up a 16-year-old and making sure mom and dad know they could call him if they need anything or whatever. And I don't know. I think they might need to at the risk of upsetting the resources, they might need to to do some work to make sure that that bridge still exists.
I think like outside of collaborations, because Nike has a bunch of collaborations too. I think Nike got away from a particular thing in marketing, which was storytelling. You know what I mean? Like, do you remember the Jordan commercial for the Jordan 12s when he was driving through the lane, he spun and dunked the basketball? Y'all remember that commercial?
Not really.
Well, nigga, that I remember. Okay, basically the commercial is the nigga drove to the basket. He spins in the lane, dunks the basketball. This is Jordan. This is for the like white and black 12s when they first let us know they were dropping, right? And they're playing like some fucking like classical music in the background, and basically like everybody's watching the TV, like the world stopped, and that's what it felt like when watching MJ for me. Like I didn't give a fuck what else was going.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And so like there was that. You know what I'm saying? The Jordan 20 when they got Spike Lee to tell the story of MJ. You remember that shit? He was sitting on the stoop. You know, like there's like those moments where I felt like they were moments, and I feel like Nike makes a lot of cool shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? But it's not substantive in the same way. You know what I mean? So I feel like New Balance, the things they do, like they're allowing Joe Freshgoods create in the way that Joe creates. He's being a whole Chicago ass nigga under their flag. You know what I'm saying? And so it feels very genuine and authentic. And I think they've kind of got away from that a little bit. And I feel like, yeah, you can make really cool things that look beautiful, but everybody's doing that. What are you gonna do to make shit stick? Like the shit they did with Schoolboy Q with Tiger, well, that shit hit because it felt really genuine and authentic. You know what I mean? They need to get back to that if they're gonna keep, I mean, you just can't, I think they're getting away from that as far as when it comes to marketing, which is things that really appeal to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nike been resting on their laurels for a minute, dog. Like,
I agree.
Their newest shit does not move me at all. Like 90% of the Nikes I own are like retros, like shit from the 90s and shit, right?
They've been relying on that shit.
Yeah,
Too,
like it should be a fucking moment when the new bronze drop, when the new KDs drop, right? And it like it was with the Jordans and shit with us and the pennies with us when we were kids, but it's just like,
I think basketball shoes have gotten so basketball-y. We're like, nigga, like what was cool about the Deons and shit and the fucking Reggie Whites and all that shit, nigga, I could wear them shits with my clothes. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, it was a great shoe to hoop in. Like you could actually hoop in it. I hooped in in high school. I hooped in Jordans. A great shoe to hoop in, but I could also wear Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like a lot of people have gotten away from that type shit. You know what I mean? And I feel like that. Like LeBron's. It seems like LeBron's can only be worn by LeBron. You know what I mean? Like
you love talking about marketing. I say you love talking about this stuff because
I
your
like
eyes
the creative side of it.
Yeah.
I like the creative side of it. I like when the idea side of the shit. You know what I'm saying? And like, I really think it's interesting when companies like working at a particular company, and y'all can deduce who I'm talking about. You know what I mean? That was a big ass company that lost the sauce. You feel what I'm saying? I see how motherfuckers lose the sauce to get comfortable. You know what I mean? Like you said, resting on your laurels, and you become a huge company in a time period where it's important to be able to make a left turn very quick and very hard. And if you're a big ass company, it's very hard to do that with all this red tape. And I think that's really interesting how companies make these shifts and how companies get comfortable. And then before you know it, you know what I'm saying? Cooper Flagg is signed a New Balance.
Yeah.
And what I think is cool about New Balance's shift is that, to your point about basketball shoes being so basketball-y, like I looked up who their other athletes are, not just basketball, but outside of basketball. And I don't know if any of them have a signature shoe, but it's more about the brand at large than a specific shoe, right? They have Kawhi Leonard, who I think has a shoe, but like outside of Kawhi Leonard, they have Jamal Murray, Tyrese Maxey, Cameron Brink, Shohei Ohtani, Coco Gauff, Sidney McLaughlin. That is a wide-reaching, heavy hitters,
and it's vibe,
brand
it's
play.
Vibe there, particularly about the people that
right. It's not just about like basketball
right.
shoe. It's like we look at the collection of talent that we have. It is very, very cool.
Exactly. And then also like a company that was really good at that was Adidas until they fucked up with Kanye. But Adidas were leaning dope into the culture, really far into the culture too. And they started to do like they were making real big waves with like like the off court, outside of like sports type shit. You know what I'm saying? With the leisure shit. You know what I mean? And I mean they got away from it. But yeah, I feel like New Balance is like kind of took that and they running with that shit, bro. But like I said, like Jackson pointed out, these people are not just like really good at sport. These are people you want to sit down and hang with. You know what I mean? So they're being very intentional about the people that they're putting, the New Balance on. So like Tyrese Maxey, come on, G. Like that's
it feels like there for New Balance is very very aware of their identity, where they know they're a lifestyle brand first and foremost, where people
and that's what I was looking for, a lifestyle clothes.
Yeah.
That's what it was leaning into.
Right. Like I said, like their whole shit to me is running and casual shit, right? Like and running is a lifestyle, casual shit, that's lifestyle shit too. So they're leaning into athletes who have, big personalities, athletes who people are interested on a personal level, like Cameron Brink, Shohei. So I definitely think New Balance is making good moves with that.
We had the appetizer last week. Now it's time to feast. College football is back. Don't miss any of the action. Jump in at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's a full slate of games for week 1, including the big matchup in Atlanta between the preseason number 1 and number 16.
Enjoy the ride now all the way through the expanded playoffs. We're always watching how Coach Prime and Colorado are doing. Interesting first game right now. They are about 9.5 favorites against North Dakota State this weekend. Plus, all newbies getting into the college spirit, here's something extra special. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Score big with DraftKings all college football season long. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Jenkins. That's code Jenkins, Jenkins, For new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.